Hello everyone. As an alumnus of the US government-funded exchange program, I'd like to report on the media project developed by our agency News of Ukraine during this time of war. In order to counter the Russian disinformation and propaganda and to convey the truth about the war in Ukraine, it is necessary to cover the whole of Europe and most of territory of Russian Federation. There is an anti-propaganda network in the countries neighboring Russia, territory of Baltic countries, Finland and Norway, Poland and Georgia, Mongolia and Japan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan and Turkey. Also, the News of Ukraine agency, together with the relevant state services, is implementing media strategies aimed at preventing the Belarusian army from being involved in the Ukrainian-Russian war. The official speaker of the Belarusian cyber partisan movement, Juliana Shemitovets, speaking live from New York, USA. Juliana, can I ask you, what is the current state of the Belarusian army? Is it ready to attack Ukraine together with the Russian troops?
In general, Belarusian army, nothing similar to the Russian army.
How should the self-proclaimed president of Belarus be penalized?
The current legislation has been changed by the regime, illegitimately changed, so Tkachenko will spend the rest of his days in prison.
For more than 10 years of work in investigative journalism, we have added to our experience the skill of OSINT digital tools, open source intelligence techniques. This knowledge and skills help us now to track hidden source of funding for Russia's armed aggression in Ukraine and identify the aggressors' collaborators around the world.
Інформаційне агентство новин України, мене звуть Humanitarian, агенція Bloomberg повідомила про те, що близько 80 мільярдів доларів російських статків приховані.
Ми відпрацьовуємо ці речі, все тільки починається. Ми працюємо під президентом і на доручення президента розробляємо ті чи інші документи.
We do this thanks to the international practices, knowledge and skills gained since our visit to the United States in an exchange program with American journalists focused on access to public information. As a reminder, this opportunity to exchange international experience was provided after my twice personal forcing the now fugitive president of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych, to answer for the lack of transparency in the presidential power vertical, corruption, crime and human rights violation in Ukraine. I also publicly warned him of impeachment at the president's annual press conference.
Вже вимагають імпічменту президента через його діяльність. Віктор Федорович, питання, навіщо це потрібно? Дякую.
Дякую за питання.
For this journalistic work, I was persecuted by the now banned in Ukraine Party of Regions, led by Viktor Yanukovych.
По поводу конфликта, который возник у творческой группы с руководством канала, кто-то был отстранен от производства сюжетов. Он ни разу не взял слово, чтобы просто извиниться. Просто не хотите извиниться и все.
Under the political pressure from the government party, the management of the TV channel where I worked fabricated accusation of my alleged bias, blocked access to my workplace and unjustifiably dismissed me as a presenter and journalist.
Цей сюжет був однією з причин під час цієї халтури. Ця людина представлялася телеканалом 1+1, прикривалася програмою гроші. Я буду просити юристів телеканалу надати юридичну оцінку таким діям.
Коротке і символічне питання. В чому сила?
Сила в стойкости, в том, что мы пока еще в эфире.
Хорошо, да. То количество звонков, которые мы получаем во время и до эфира, симпатиков программы, мы не получаем никогда, даже во время голоса страны.
Гроші знають про вас абсолютно все. Звідки гроші знають, де працюють, казино, як там хабарі і так далі. Гроші викривають найпотаємніші
У нас удалены все учетные записи в компьютерах. Мы не можем заходить, то есть нужно получать разрешение. Я не могу войти в компьютер.
Журналісти не можуть зайти до комп'ютерів, фактично йде розправа над телепрограмою, над колективом. І це можна кваліфікувати як цензуру.
Сейчас до сих пор не дали ключи.
Ключи есть, но нельзя на компьютерах работать. Нет доступу просто-напросто, і все.
Треба перевірити щодо його особистого доступу. Програма працює. Це розправа над ним? Я не знаю, я не комп'ютерник, я не даю. Одну секундочку, ви не репресуєте зараз усе за один сюжет. Хай відповість по суду, ще й не доведена його вина. Суд доводить вину. Не можна перед судом сказати, що він винен.
Олег, у вас є підстави говорити, що був порушений закон щодо вас в ситуації зі скеруванням вас від ефіру або в чомусь іншому? Чи був?
Так, я вважаю, що так відбулося.
A year later, Yanukovych fled to Russia. In retaliation for this, a year later, their neighbor country launched a war in the Ukrainian Donbas, which escalated into full-scale military aggression on February 24th last year. It's necessary to remind that the Russian plan to surround the capital of Ukraine and repeat their blockade of Leningrad in the first 2 months of the full-scale invasion failed. The column of Russian troops that had to block Kyiv from the Zhytomyr highways was tracked by the Pokrasa family drones from small city Makariv near the capital of Ukraine.
У нас був дрон, у них не було. Хлопці всліпу воювали.
After sending the GPS coordinates of the Russians' location to our armed forces, 15-year-old Andriy Pokrasa told the News of Ukraine agency the occupiers were defeated and the Ukrainian young hero was officially awarded by the President of Ukraine.
Андрій, Покраса, Данило, Сергіїв, їм від 7 до 16 років, а вони герої.
Якби ми це не зробили, то ніхто б на той момент не зміг зробити.
The aggressor state is still shelling Ukraine. A Russian Iranian Shahed drone attacked even the small two-story shop located just 300 meters from our News of Ukraine agency near the center of Kyiv.
Крамничка, в якій вбили продавців, відвідувачів і навіть заживо згоріли люди, які перебували в автомобілях біля цієї крамниці.
A total of 7 peaceful Kyivans were burned alive in an instant. Continuous attacks by Russian combat drones on peaceful Ukrainian cities prompted our team to initiate the development of an anti-drone dome project over the capital of Ukraine, other cities, towns and villages.
Maximum wind, 14? No, about 18 knots. It will fly.
Браво! Все вдалося. My congratulations.
CEO of Dragonfly, Cameron Chell.
Cameron Chell is Dragonfly's CEO.
Dragonfly is in Ukraine. Joining me now, Cameron Chell.
CNN and Fox both want to just talk about the concept of drones and public safety and drone dome and
that's the first project that calls a drone dome.
Over the past 6 months, the News of Ukraine agency has conducted in-depth interview with many Ukrainian amateur developers and global industrial manufacturers of drone and UAVs, aircraft engineers and aerospace scientists.
What we need to start it as fast as possible.
A directive from the city of Kyiv. If we could get that directive, then we could find the budget, based on the scope to do the testing.
When and where we can see the results of testing?
I think we just need to, coordinate with DEFC.
DEFC has the already existing relationship with the city of Kyiv, right? So, and Dragonfly is partnering with DEFC.
And with DEFC, and then based on that, we're bringing some equipment. We've got some equipment in country.
What do you think about the opportunities of DEFC?
All of the work that we have done with them in terms of who they've connected us with, how we've pragmatically moved forward in our testing, seems to be, they seem to do their work extremely well. So I have a very high degree confidence in DEFC.
Is DEFC the company which can realize drone dome over the Kyiv?
Certainly my experience with DEF-C has been very positive. They're extremely capable. They're very prudent in what they do. They seem to be very well connected.
Dragonfly is pleased to announce DEF-C, a well-established Ukrainian company servicing the civil and defense sectors, has selected Dragonfly as the preferred provider of drones, services, and solutions.
The information of this international agreement was announced by president of the Canadian concern, listed on NASDAQ, which led to more than doubling from 58 cents per share to $1.20.
Amazing. So that we can use our government relations folks and Wayne's contacts to go back to the State Department to try to get this on the budget agenda.
Today we are working on a mathematical model of the pilot project of an anti-drone dome over the capital of our country based on artificial intelligence using GPT-chat technology. And we are supervising the work of a team of engineers and developers together with the representatives of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense and Capitals authorities, international donors and world leaders in the production of drones, UAVs.
The authorities already issued the contract, official agreement. It's Vladislav Andronov. He's not the mayor of Kiev, but he's first deputy, who's the main person who initiated this project, right, from city of Kiev, who will be representing this project here.
Yes, that would be great.
The city of Kiev officially will order drones. Municipal, the budget for the next year is already include amounts that has to be spent to buy drones. It's already there, so they budgeted that for the next year.
The threat of drones is persistent. It's not just during time of war. It's going to be time of anything because they're so easy to conceal and they're so easy to deploy.
Operate a drone. Please make sure that the drone is not your drone is not in the line of our path of our drone.
The Ukrainian village of Peremoha, in English Victory, on the border of Kiev and Chernihiv regions, was also liberated by our national armed forces. During the retreat of Russian troops, all the bridges and crossings from the capital of Ukraine to the border with Chernihiv region were completely destroyed. Every house along the road was shot or blown up.
Снаряд попав там в началі сарая. Це результати авіанальотів. Бородянка досі оговтується від російської навали.
During our filming in another bombed-out small city near Kiev, Borodyanka, its citizens told us how they survived the massive bombardment.
Авіанальот. Авіанальот.
Нальот оцей, воно все почало летіти, попало. У нас 8 дітей було в підвалі, в один угол збивалися, плакали.
І ти, сонечко, теж в підвалі була?
Хотіли нас побити.
When the Russians left the whole of the north of Ukraine, the entire territory they had previously occupied was mined, fields, forests, waterways, gas pipes and power lines. In total, 1/3 of the Ukrainian territory, more than 200,000 square kilometers, is contaminated with explosives. This is the largest indicator in the world. So since the summer, we started weekly international media conferences on the issue of demining.
Wayne Williams, nice to meet you.
I own a company called Chain Technology Services. My company actually contracted with Dragonfly. We took a ranch here in Texas. It's roughly 50 hectares. Completely turned it into a field.
A full testing facility in Texas where we're doing the, testing of all the different ordnance and identifications and software and sensors.
During this period, the News of Ukraine agency has formed a global media pool of experts from Switzerland, the United States and Canada, Israel, Azerbaijan and other countries.
The question about taking part in the demining of Ukraine.
I did work for ANAM for a few years. The best answer was given by our president when he said that we will continue until the last mine is found in Azerbaijan.
I'm in Switzerland.
We developed a system that is called mindfree.info, and this is basically a mobile application that allows civilians to collect information in the field about threats, mining threats, unexploded munition, and things like that. It's been quite successful. We have 50,000 active users in Ukraine.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, amazing.
We look forward to collaborating. Absolutely.
For more than 6 months, we collected a database of expert opinions of the former ministers and government officials, heads of specialized institutes of the Ukrainian National Academy of Sciences, Ukrainian and international sappers, manufacturers of demining equipment and developers of the latest technologies, as well as international donor funds for demining in Ukraine. Today, all these achievements have been consolidated into the non-governmental organization Demining Control. In addition, our team, together with the Canadian donors and Ukrainian charity funds, developed the Charity Scan project to monitor humanitarian aid from Ukraine's partner countries.
Ukrainian-Canadian Social Services Vancouver branch for their support in getting the container here, and then of course Ukrainian Armor for all their support and logistical support here in Ukraine.
To build united media platform in order to inform Canadian people and American people about the cooperation with the Ukrainian charity funds.
No, having that centralized place, because there are so many organizations. It's nice to know that, like I said, we've been so fortunate with our partners here and the partners that I've worked with in Canada to ensure that it's...
We need help from the US Embassy and the US government-funded exchange program to create a dedicated global web-based platform with a database of information, logistics, and legal support for every penny of financial aid for Ukraine from a foreign charity, NGO or donor country to the Ukrainian contractor and final recipient.
United database where any people can find the information about donors, about the equipment, the donation, and about the finish point.
So the whole...
Yeah.
It makes sense because I've only recently become aware that there's one of the things that I'm doing here is I've been recording the donations being delivered to the hospitals so that I can take those videos and pictures back to the people who made the donations of the equipment and say, here's your equipment arriving at the hospital. And I have pictures of me loading it in Canada and pictures unloading it here so that they know that it's arrived, because that's important too for donors to know.
We look forward to supporting this and our other media project that will help Ukraine survive in this time of war and save as many Ukrainian lives as possible.